Hi guys, I'm Desiree.
And I'm Justine.
And this is Sippin and Dishin.
We sit down with our friends and get the latest dish, all while sipping on some yummy drinks.
We talk about the things in life that make you want to laugh or cry or even temporarily lose your shit.
We're real women.
This is real talk. And of course it's real drinks. Hey guys, welcome to episode 16. Today we have Cindy with us. I know Cindy through my daycare. Our children were in the same daycare, and I was able to meet her because she also does photography, and she did these fun Valentine's Day shoots, and we were just able to connect, and I've had my photos done by her. So thank you, Cindy, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, you guys.
And it's nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you. Nice to meet you too, Justine.
Okay, so today we are drinking some Stella Rosa of the Rosso. So it's like a white-red blend. To me, I call it a gateway wine. This is the wine you drink before you drink the good stuff.
Big girl wine.
It's yummy.
But I love it
It's
so much.
good.
Yeah, so you like it?
It's not as sweet as the other Stella, the white dessert wine.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. It's a little bit of tart, and I feel a bit more of an adult drinking it.
It's probably because it's red.
It's because it's red. Yeah,
good.
for me,
I like
anyway.
it.
To me, like, because normally I was a white gal and I did the Moscatos because, I mean, delicious. It's like drinking cake. And so when I was venturing off, I didn't want to like straight go for a red because a lot of them are kind of an acquired taste. So this is one of the ones I found that was still sweet, but it was a little less sweet to like edge me towards the other wines.
It's good. I like it. It's pretty yummy.
Okay. Did you prepare 2 truths and a lie for us?
I did.
Oh my
I
God.
did.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun.
So the first one is I work 3 jobs, or I have 3 jobs. I don't work 3 jobs. Well, either way you look at it, there's 3 jobs. I dropped a baby. I dropped a baby actually twice, and I've been robbed.
You've been robbed.
I feel like everybody drops a baby once in their life.
Right? I feel like that's just like an initiation.
Yeah.
If you've never dropped a baby, you're lying.
Yeah, right? You're pretending.
Okay, so
Watch, that's really her lie.
it could be, and then we're just sour.
We're
people.
just horrible people.
Well, just think about it. As a newborn photographer, how would you feel if your newborn photographer told you, "Hey, I've dropped a baby before"?
Maybe leave that off your resume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Me as a mom, I'd be like, oh, yeah, me too.
I can relate. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I guess
I'm going to say the robbery
me too. I think it's the robbery.
because I feel like that might be more rare.
That's a lie.
That is a lie. Woohoo!
That means we got it right.
Yeah.
That, like, it never happens.
I celebrated. Yep.
That's 2 times in a row. Okay, so that means you have dropped a baby. Was it
Yes.
your baby?
It was not my baby. It
was-
was the same baby. It was actually my nephew, my oldest nephew, and they remind me all the time. My kids are always, "Mom, remember when you dropped Darian? Mom, remember when you dropped Darian?" And then my nephew, who wants to leave me with a guilt trip when he wants something, "Auntie, remember that time you dropped me?" And I'm like, "Okay, shut up. Stop talking about it." But yes, I did drop my nephew. So what happened was, so my nephew and my son are only 3 months apart. So when I was pregnant, I was watching my nephew at that time. He was brand new. I was holding him, and I had a contraction.
Oh.
So I'm sitting there. Thank God I didn't drop him that far. Down. So I'm holding him, and my stomach's really big. So I'm holding him like all awkward, as when you're pregnant. And then all of a sudden, I felt a contraction, and I lean over to give the baby to my sister because I feel the contraction coming. And then I released before she grabbed the baby, and he landed smack on the tile floor. I felt so horrible.
So
And then
traumatizing for you. The baby won't remember.
my sister-in-law was so pissed at me. I felt so horrible. She came home from work, and then she's like, "Why?" Because the baby's fussy, right? After you drop them, they're fussy. They're a little bit. Thank God he's okay. But she's like, "Why is he so fussy?" My sister Cindy dropped him on the floor. I'm like, "Oh my God!"
Just telling
It
everybody.
was an accident. So that was one time. And then towards the end of my pregnancy, I dropped him again. So that was the 2 times I dropped my nephew.
So the same baby.
Same baby. I have not dropped another baby since then, you know.
Probably because you're super paranoid.
Yeah.
So now I'm super careful. But yes, I did indeed drop a baby. So for all the moms out there who dropped a baby, don't feel bad. It happens.
It's very common.
Very common.
Have you guys dropped your babies?
Definitely.
I want to say, yeah, probably.
Well, I don't know if it was like necessarily a drop, but more like they rolled down to the ground. Because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, so I think with my daughter, it happened once, and she was on the bed, and I think it was like early morning, and I was getting ready for work, and I like had turned around to my closet trying to find a shirt, and then sure enough, they're quick. They're quick, and then I just hear this thud on the ground, and then my baby's screaming, and I'm just like, oh my God. And
your heart just drops.
Yes, so it's not like necessarily like I dropped them, but it was definitely my fault that they hit the ground.
Yeah.
Yes, it was definitely my fault. And then my son, I feel like he's constantly just hitting the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Like just all the time. Yeah. Like he rolled off the couch, he rolled off this, and I was just like, damn, do you just not care as much with the second baby?
Yeah. You know that they'll live. That's why.
Yeah, I'm like, the first one survived. You're bound to survive, right?
How many kids do you have, Justine?
2.
Have you dropped yours?
I want to say I probably have. I can't remember. I know somebody else has dropped my baby before. So, yeah, I was in that same. Yeah.
So, from the mom side,
how did you feel?
How did you feel?
I mean, I was like, dude, what the fuck? And it was like, I mean, I get it. Because they don't have kids or anything. So, it was like, oh, well, you know, they don't know. Because, I mean, I remember getting my kid for the first time. I was like, oh, God, how do I hold this thing? Like,
you're like, it's so squishy.
So yeah, giving it to somebody that hasn't had a baby, I'm sure they wouldn't even know accidents happen. You know, at the moment, I was like, what the hell? But afterwards, I was like, well, it's, you know.
I mean, your baby's obviously fine.
Oh, yeah. And that's why, like you said, with the second one, yes, you know what they live through, like after that.
Like the first one survived.
And it does. And and like I said, I'm pretty sure I've probably dropped one of my kids. I don't remember.
Oh,
all the days go together.
It kind of merges. My oldest actually fell out of a cart once.
Like a grocery
I'm
cart?
one of those moms. Yes, it was at Walmart. And again, stupid mom mistake, just not strapping him in, not paying attention. I put him in the, the big side of the cart. And he was maybe 2 or 3 at that time. And then at that time, I didn't think that, he can actually lean over the cart and actually fall out. So we were just browsing, looking at stuff, and he was reaching over to grab like Spider-Man or something. And then the next thing you know, I see it in the corner of my eye. He's like falling out the cart. No. And I was so terrified because that's a really big fall. And he actually chipped a tooth.
Oh my gosh.
But thank God it was just a chipped tooth, you know.
I mean, it could have been worse, right?
But yes, oh my gosh, so I dropped a baby and one of my children have fallen out of the carts. That was me.
Hey, none of us are perfect.
It happened.
Moms.
Yeah, right? No, it doesn't come with a handbook.
We can't like be 100% paying attention every single second of the day. I mean,
like you said, they move fast.
They're quick.
Yes.
It's like they want to fall.
So for the moms out there, oh my gosh, if your kids get hurt, don't feel bad.
No.
It happens.
You're not alone.
Nope.
Very common.
Earlier, before I came over, my son was literally playing on like a pile of like stuff my husband was pulling off of a roof. I mean, but you know what? I looked at my husband. I said, both of the kids enjoyed playing on top of this, I don't know, wood and shingles more than they liked playing on the toys outside.
Yep, they want to play.
They were just
on the
loving it.
It's new. It's texture, right? It's fun.
Different levels of like owies
Things
that they could
enjoy.
like.
Well, then you like wonder, why do I spend all this money on this plaything when you want to play with
totally.
a box?
Yes.
Like
yes.
this box is just so great, but the thing inside it, you're just gonna leave it alone. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Like,
makes
should have
sense.
just went
Yeah.
to the recycle center and just bought like boxes.
It would have kept him entertained for hours.
You know what? I hate to say that's a really good idea in this time of need.
For all us mamas out there, don't spend money. Just go get boxes.
Home Depot, 88 cents for the
There you
medium-sized box.
There you go.
Hecka cheap to keep him entertained forever.
Don't
And then
even
you
lie. I'm
recycle
going to
it.
actually do that. I'm not lying. Tomorrow. It's happening.
Do you want to go ahead and dive into your first topic? Cindy's first topic is about homeschooling. I am sure there's many people
my
that
God.
understand the struggle right now.
It is not an easy task, and kudos to our teachers, you guys. Kudos to our huge teachers. It's been quite the learning curve. So in the beginning, you know, when they first shut down the schools, we didn't have a curriculum, right? So everyone was just like, oh, just stay home and just do what you can with your kids. So in the beginning, you know, I have my kids are, how old are my kids now? They're 11 and 7, so that's quite of a big age span. So I didn't want to spend my days teaching 2 different curriculums for 2 kids, plus my nephews who are also 11 and 10. So what I did was I just made shit up as I went. So one day we learned about volcanoes. Then another day we learned about clouds. Oh, that's a fun one for the moms that are home right now that are looking for like a really fun activity for the kids. So we went online and we looked up the different types of clouds. And then that day we went to the school, grabbed free lunches for the moms out there. If you guys don't know, look up your local schools, grab a free lunch. Oh my gosh, please just go do yourselves a favor and grab a free lunch because that is one extra meal you don't have to cook. So that was a huge lifesaver. And then we drove out to Dry Creek near the park. So you can't play at the park right now. So what we did was we sat in the back of the car, ate lunch, and we watched the clouds. We just looked at the clouds and we were sky watching. And then the kids, if they can tell me what clouds they see and what the clouds did, they would get $1. Which was super fun for them.
Motivational.
Right, yeah.
So you have to find out what motivates your kids because the kids right now, they want to play Roblox. They want to play, what's that other game? Minecraft. They want money, right? They want money for their digital games. So that was a great motivator for them. And so what I find now that after we did that, even when we're just driving randomly, the kids will point and tell me what clouds they see. So that's pretty fun. So that was before the schools did the curriculums. Now that we have an actual somewhat of a organized layout, it's very stressful. So for the little kids who have one class, okay, that's easy because they just have one syllabus to go off. The older kids that have like 5 to 6 classes, oh my God, you guys, it's so much.
I can bet. There's a bunch of subjects in there.
Yeah.
I think it's too much. So I don't know if there's a way we can like pick and choose what we can do. But it's a lot because you're talking about history, you're talking about science, math. I was doing math with my nephew, and I felt so bad because we would go down the worksheet, and then I'm like, okay, I kind of remember that. I can help you here. Oh, forget it, whatever, forget it.
Yeah.
You know, just Google. You tried, or you know, some of that stuff you can't even Google.
What?
You can't even fractions? How do you Google fractions?
I know. What's the way to describe that?
I don't know. I ask Alexa sometimes.
And we do that all
Alexa,
the time.
how do you spell this? I just want to make sure.
I was like, what is this? How do you do this? It's really difficult. So half the time I don't even fuss with math anymore because I feel
it's different than when we were all kids. It's completely different.
It's very stressful, right? And then you're looking at it. I'm like, are you ever going to apply this shit in real life?
No.
Why do you need to know this?
You're like, I'm an adult and I know you don't use this.
Yeah.
This is stupid. And then in English, they were doing, I forgot what they called it, but it's like rhymes, syllables and rhymes. And I go, this is so fucking dumb. I was like, oh my God, can we just read a book and write a paragraph? But homeschooling's different. When you're working and then you have to be a stay-at-home mom, you know, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're making sure the kids are alive every day.
Yeah.
You're making sure they're clean. And then you throw on top of educational, now you have to be the children's teacher. It's a lot of
and
work.
you're not doing one kid. You're doing multiple
4.
kids.
I'm doing 4 kids.
It's
a
Jesus,
lot.
you're a hero.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? What I've learned is, so my brother and my sister-in-law, they both work. Okay. I don't know how people, when you're working still, like you guys are still working from home, I don't know how you can work even though you're working at home, working your full-time 8 hours, plus educating the kids. The education itself is a full-time job. And so what I've learned with the kids is you can't just throw them in front of a computer and say, do that. You can't do that. You have to monitor them. You have to make sure that they're doing the work. My nephew was doing his math worksheet, and he was done in like 10 minutes. And I go, really? You're done in 10 minutes? I don't believe you. Show me this shit. Show
Lies.
me. It was, and then I was so upset because when I sat down and I checked his assignments, he had 1 answer right out of 10. And in my mind, I'm thinking, shit, now I got to sit here and figure out how to do this with him. So then it took us over a good hour and a half because, you know, if I'm going to homeschool him, I need to teach him how to do these problems.
Yeah.
And what took so long is because I had to remember how to do all this stuff. I had to look up and figure out how to do all these steps. So I'm like, we don't even apply this in real life. Yeah. So it's a lot of work.
So it's like reteaching yourself so that you can teach them.
Yes.
The new way of math.
It's like double the work.
Yes, and I think this is how we're gonna be for a while, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Well, I mean, at least the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you know.
Until fall, at least.
I mean, maybe. We don't know.
Don't put that in the universe.
Sorry. I'm trying to be positive. That's not my character.
Part of me is like, maybe we should just let the school go and just let them live their lives.
Oh my God. I loved the meme you posted like earlier this week about like it's not the teacher's fault.
Yes.
And then you said that like his chat box was gone and you're just like, why is it gone?
Oh, yes.
And then so you decided to like message the teacher. So what did the teacher say?
So let me tell you guys what happened. So this is my other
Oh my
nephew.
goodness.
This is my obnoxious nephew.
So
This
the
is
one you didn't drop.
this is the one I did not drop. This is my obnoxious nephew, and he's so smart. That kid is so highly intelligent, and because he's so smart, he is the smartest little ass that I know. And so we were sitting there trying to get they're all doing Google Classroom right now. So in Google Classroom, they have a chat box so they can communicate with their classmates and their
Yes.
teachers. They have a group chat, and then they have a private chat with the teacher. And so we're sitting on there. We're trying to get onto Zoom, right? We're trying to log into the online classroom where they're doing a meeting. And I couldn't get on. And then I'm looking all around. I'm like, how do I contact this teacher? How do I communicate? Hey, we can't get on. And we're sitting here for like 20, 30 minutes. And I'm like, where's your stupid damn box at? And I go, is there something wrong with your Chromebook? And so then I have the other kids open up their Chromebooks. And I'm like, nope, chat box. And I go, that's weird. So then I call his mom and I said, hey, I'm trying to get him on and I can't get him on. Forget it. I'm done. I'm not going to struggle with this anymore. And so mom calls the teacher later that day. So this was morning, right? This is like 10 a.m. So mom calls on her lunch break. She calls the teacher and she calls me around 5 o'clock. And she goes, Cindy, I have to tell you something. I'm so pissed off right now. And I go, Jenny, what's wrong? Jenny's her mom. And I was like, I need you to spank him. And I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay. Number one.
You're like, what happened?
I don't, I will. But, I don't like to. And she's like, what did she tell me? So on Monday, so this was 2 days prior. On Monday, she had set him up on Google Classroom. She went to work. This little a-hole was on the chat making smart-ass comments to his classmates and to his teachers. Oh, is this done yet? I'm so bored, blah, blah, blah. And so the teacher mutes the damn chat. She took away his chat box. So here we are struggling. And I'm like, where the hell? Like, is this user error? Like, what's going on
You're
here?
like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's me. I'm like, I can't find it. And then come to find out it's the little asshole. I'm like, you little fucker. And then I looked at him, and then I was like, tell me what you did right now. And then he tries to play dumb. I know he knows. And so I don't know what you're talking about, Auntie. I said, you want to sit here and lie to Auntie to her face right now? Do you want me to email your teacher? So long story short, we had a conversation about, having the proper behavior. You are a very smart kid. You like to be obnoxious. You like to be a smartass because you think it's cute, right? So I tell you, think it's funny.
You think it's cute. It's not.
You are 10. This is not cute anymore, Nathan. And then with him, I don't like to discipline, with a firm hand. I don't like to do that with the kids, right? So I made him feel bad for what he did. I said, Auntie's really embarrassed. I said, I'm so disappointed in you, Nathan. That was so embarrassing because not only did you disrespect your teacher and your classmates, but all those parents that are sitting in the classroom with their kids, they read that. You're the terrible kid on the block. So, and I know he felt bad because he had like tears in his eyes, But I was like, no, I need to teach him how to be a good human.
Yeah.
Because when you get older, you don't want to be that asshole coworker.
Yeah.
No, because when you're an adult, you don't put up with that shit.
No.
Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like right now, the kids kind of have to like deal with it. But if you're a jerk when you're an adult, they don't have to be around.
Good luck.
Good luck making friends.
Good
they
luck.
don't want to be friends with jerks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, this same kid years ago kept getting in fights at school. Come home all the time. Auntie, they're bullying me. Auntie, they're bullying. They're picking on me. Come to find out, that little fucker was the bully. So now I don't believe anything. That was so terrible. My brother called me one day. He's like, yeah, man, he got in trouble because he beat up some kid. I go, well, was the kid messing with him? Because that's our
that's
first
what he-
response.
Yes,
telling you.
naturally as the parent.
As
Of
a
course.
parent.
You're like, my sweet baby angel would never do that.
Exactly. Like, what happened? Why are you picking on him? And then you get
Definitely.
defensive. Like, who's this damn kid? Let me go to this school, blah, blah, blah. And then
Do I need to go beat up their mom?
And then now you find out it's him, and it's like, shit, I can't believe anything you say.
Yeah.
So he just has, I kind of think he's on the spectrum. You know, I think he's somewhere on that spectrum because he lacks social skills. He's very antisocial. With our group of kids, he's great, but when we have parties or events, he's always isolated by himself. I've noticed that he does not get along with other kids. In the beginning, I thought, well, maybe he's jealous, or I thought maybe maybe they're picking on him because he has glasses and stuff like that. But now I realize I think it's him. So now we respect his boundaries. I don't force him out and be social anymore. I used to try to make him, go play with those kids, go outside, go play with those kids. I don't do that anymore. If he wants to sit quietly and play by himself, I kind of leave him alone. So those are things that we kind of learned, just, having all this time with them one-on-one.
Yeah.
Before you don't, when you're
You don't
working,
know. Yeah.
they're at school, you don't know what's going on. And then, so he's the one that, a lot of aha moments.
Yeah.
A lot of aha moments. I was like, oh my God.
So it's almost like this experience is bringing a lot of perspective on like what the teachers are dealing with, or like, or sides of your kids that you normally wouldn't see because they're away from 8 to
And you only
3,
got a
you know
couple
what I
of
mean?
kids with you,
Yes.
let alone 25, in a classroom?
And there's a lot like that. So huge kudos to our teachers.
Yeah.
I don't think we give our teachers enough kudos, because if you had to deal with my nephew Nathan, I'm buying you $100 gift card.
Yeah.
I think I was so upset. He's actually going to be writing the teacher and the classmates a letter of an apology.
Aww.
And then I think I'm going to mail that teacher a gift card of some sort, because that's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you know what? I think it's amazing, like the self-reflecting that you guys are doing, because like think about, like, I feel like we live in the world where we're like, oh no, it's not my kid, they're perfect. But you're just like, you slowly see that they're not, and then it's them, and being able to accept that and like realize like our own roles in that is amazing, because I mean, it's so hard to find fault in your own child, let alone in your own self, right? Like,
And it's hard to admit, right?
It
'Cause
really,
It
definitely
really is.
It takes strong people.
You don't want to look at yourself and say, nope, that was me. That was, those are my kids. Because it's embarrassing.
It is.
Definitely.
But I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is real life.
And
right?
it is.
This is real life. And so sometimes I feel bad putting my nephews on blast. But I'm like, no, this is real life. I said, the world needs to know my nephew's an asshole. I'm okay with it.
Hey, I am a number one supporter of calling your kid an asshole. I love it.
And
I have 2 of them.
But my whole thing about being public about it is, if they act out of line, people need to tell me. Do not be afraid to offend me and say, he was being disrespectful. We need to know. And I think as parents, we have to be receptive to that.
Definitely, yes.
And not be like, well, why are you talking about my kid? Like, if my kid's out of pocket, you need to let me know.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to grow up
Thinking it's okay.
and being assholes.
Yes.
How many assholes do we work with at work?
Right.
I know.
Or run into on the street.
Definitely.
Every day.
And you're just like, I didn't want to raise one of those assholes,
Yeah.
because I don't know if I would like you as an adult. Like, if we're both adults, I don't know if I'm going to like you. Like, that's a hard realization for myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, major kudos, because you're homeschooling 4 kids
4.
right now.
4.
I just,
Yeah.
I don't know how
It's a
you're
lot.
I have like
doing
1.5.
Ugh.
The 4-year-old doesn't count because he's just like,
He's just like there.
yeah, he's just like doing colors and
I
whatnot
know.
and letters.
How
But
old is
like
your other one?
7,
So that's what?
first grade.
First grade. Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your experience with the whole homeschooling scenario? Is it similar to
It's-
Cindy's?
Well, because I still have work, she's been going to daycare for a couple hours.
Yeah.
So they've mainly been doing like the online stuff there, but on Fridays I do all the schooling, and so it's difficult when you got the little one like running crazy, then you got your computer going ding 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 ding, ding, and then you got her over here like, I need help. It's difficult, but my main thing was that we got so many different emails. Like, I didn't even know where to start. Like, I started at I tried to start at the bottom, like you would at work. I tried to start at the bottom and work my way up. But it was like, by the time I got to the top, I was like, oh my God, I could have just skipped all of this and then like started here, because this was where we needed to start. I mean, she ended up doing like all of her social studies, all of her math, and like for like the next 2 weeks, because we didn't know. Like, I thought it was like, oh, just do do a couple of these and then do a couple of these. And it was like, oh no, there's actual like assignments for Monday to Friday.
Yes. And you have to turn it in. You have to turn it in. I have to, you know, check and make sure the kids actually turned in their work. And you have to check that they actually did it. My oldest, my smart child, he's been sliding.
The smart child?
He's my smart child. So because he's so smart, I don't worry about him educationally, right? So he gets a lot of slack because I know he's going to do it. But because I've been spending so much time on my nephews and my youngest, this one over there has been slacking off too. So I'm like, did you turn your assignment? Yes, Mom, I did. Are you sure? Yes, I did. And here I am thinking, oh, he probably did.
Yeah, I could trust him.
So then I sit down and I check. I said, you little fucker. Shit, Kai, what the hell? So then, you know, you know, you can't give these kids any slack, no matter how smart they are, no matter how old they are. As hard as it is, we have to double check them. So super kudos to our moms who stay home. I don't know how. I don't know
they've
how
been doing it.
Cook, clean, you know, keep your husband happy, like on top of that. And then educate. It's, oh my God. And then work.
Yeah.
Have time for yourself.
Yeah, like
time.
Yeah.
You're like, hold on, I'm a person too. I need some me time. No.
Yeah.
What have you guys been doing for me time? Because you guys are pretty busy.
I took a shower today.
I've been going for like runs and like exercising, doing some unsuccessful yoga videos because they think mommy's a bridge. Needs to go under the
God.
But mostly like mine has been like exercise because like I'm super like self-conscious of like not wanting to like gain weight and stuff.
Yes.
So because I mean my new coworker's the fridge with all the food I could ever want.
Yeah.
But no, like, so that's the way I'm finding me time. But like going back to what we were talking about with like the homeschooling stuff, my kids aren't in school right now, but I'm home. I start work really early. I start work at like 6:30. And then so when I start work, my kids are still home until 7:30, 8:30 because they have different schedules. And so I had a phone call from a coworker early morning and he was asking me some questions. And I'm so like, you know, when you're a mom and you could just tune them out. It's like your superpower. You don't realize they're there.
That's a good way of putting it.
You know,
superpower.
it's like your superpower. You don't realize they're there. So I'm on the phone with this guy and it took probably the third mommy scream for me to realize I'm on the phone with a person. Because my son came up to me and he's like, mommy. And like the guy starts laughing and I was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Hold on.
Oh, because he heard the whole thing.
He heard my son screaming. It took
But you didn't.
third. I didn't because my superpower was in place and I didn't notice it until the third mommy. But this whole time, my coworker's hearing, mommy. And so it's just like, so I only have my kids home a little bit while I'm working. I couldn't imagine the moms that have their kids there the whole time doing school while you're trying to work on top of it. Like,
absolutely
I
difficult.
have a brief moment of that and it's hard. So the moms that are there for their whole 8-hour shift and their kid is there on top of trying to do school, like, y'all are saints. You're saints. I don't know how you're doing it because I can't handle 2 hours of it.
So Justine, are your kids off while you're working or do you work from home and they're home?
So our schedule is I still go into the office a couple days a week. So they definitely are at daycare all day because my husband's still working too.
Yeah.
And then the other days they're going and then we might pick them up before nap or we might leave them for the rest of the day. And then Fridays they're home all day.
And then are you working from home on Friday?
I'm working from home, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So
the reason I've been taking them even when I'm at home is because I need just a couple hours of like full work hours.
So you get both worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, working and then having them home at the same time.
Yeah.
So she is one of those moms I'm talking about.
Well, it's very difficult, I will say, to concentrate on something and then have like noise and stuff in the background. And, like today, my husband took apart like something on our house. So I got bang, 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 bang. And, Mom, can you come play with me? Bang, 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 bang. And then I got my IMs and my emails going off like, oh, this is urgent. And I'm like, God dang.
So you know what's interesting is because you guys still work your regular 9 to 5s, right? You still work during the day, just like when the kids are. You know, I have 3 jobs. I work in the dental office in the day. Voluntary took that time off to be home with the kids because the homeschooling.
So is your
thing.
dental office actually open sometimes?
Our dental office is actually still open. Thank God.
Wow.
Oh my God. Thank God. And the reason why I'm so thankful for that is because when I need to go back to work, I still have a job.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of offices there's a lot of places that are closed and they don't even know if they're going to reopen. So I voluntarily took the time off because everyone's still working, right? The world's talking about how all these people are home now. I'm the only one of all my friends that are still working. So I'm the only one that stayed home. And then I knew that somebody needed to focus on the 4 kids of all the people that could take the time off and make a sacrifice there. I knew I would be the one that would be able to do that without having that financial burden. So I took the time off. My photography business, you know, the great thing about being your own business owner is my hours are super flexible. So during the day, I don't focus on my business. I do that either early morning or super late at night. You know, sometimes I'm up till like 12 or 1 or 2 at night working. Because during the day, it's all about the kids. It has to be about the kids.
Yeah.
Because when you're balancing, and you know, Justine, when you're balancing working with the kids there, your stress level goes like through the roof. And it makes you very short, right? As a mom. Like it just takes that little second and then you lose your shit. And then
because I mean you're a human being.
Yes. Yeah. And I felt so bad because I was trying to do work during the day one time and then went to go to homeschool. And I realized that I was very frustrated because you're having to switch from one mode to the other. So that's very stressful. And then I was really short with the kids and I felt bad because, you know, what's frustrating about homeschooling them also is because you're also learning with them, you're even more frustrated.
Yeah.
So a couple of times I was really hard on the kids and I felt really bad. So I have a code with the kids. When I'm yelling too much, when my stress level is because, you know, when you're stressed, you don't know, right? You're just in the zone. You have no idea. So the kids know when mommy or auntie is too extreme, they say you need coffee. That's my code. I need to calm down. So I've given the kids that because I need them to tell me, right? I don't want to be super intense the whole entire time because I'm going to ruin the whole experience for them. They're going to shut down. They're not going to want to learn. And then that's just going to totally throw away all my efforts of staying home. So that's our secret code. Mommy needs coffee.
I love how self-aware you are. That's awesome that you have that.
Gotta be. You have to be because, you know, we as parents, we all know that when we go off on our kids, you know, we've all lost our shit. We've all gone off the wagon and completely lost it. You feel absolutely horrible afterwards, right? I mean, I don't know how many times I've locked myself up in the bathroom in the shower to cry because I feel so horrible.
Definitely.
Oh my God, you feel so guilty. At the same time, you're like, you know what? It happens, but at the same time, but I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So that's where I have a code with the kids. Mommy needs coffee. Very simple, very easy. And then
and does it work? Like when you hear that, does it snap you back?
It snaps me out of it. And then I go from 100 down to 50, down to like 30. So it does slowly take me down. If I'm too intense, if I'm too frustrated, like when I'm working with the obnoxious one, if he pushes me and I'm just like, okay, he's pushing me too much. He needs a nap, right? You need to go take a nap. And then auntie needs a timeout. So auntie will go take a timeout and go shower and have a peace time. There have been days where it's just been too much. Fuck the school.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? Let's just go play. Let's just go do something because, you know, it's hard on everyone to be home. So we're all stuck together. We're all driving each other crazy. So I try not to make it, I try not to ruin the experience. A couple times they called their mom, Mom, I want to go home. Mom, I want to go home.
Oh my gosh.
Mom, I'm ready to go home.
Me.
And I said, I'll say to Jenny, no, they need to stay. They're really struggling. They need to stay. So then we won't do school for the rest of the day. The next day I will be more lighthearted. I won't be as intense. We won't do as many classes. So I just have to slowly pace myself.
Do you want to go ahead and dive into your second topic? Because I think you kind of alluded to it earlier with
You
your
did.
Two Truths and a Lie about having the 3 jobs and everything. Do you want to kind of tell us how you manage because you have your job in the dental field, you're a photographer, you have a blog, and technically you're a teacher
I didn't know that
you're
you had a
teacher
blog.
now. Like, how are you balancing so many things in your life? You're like a Wonder Woman.
So my day job is great because that's security right there. That's what pays the bills. That's the job that I go to that makes sure that everything that we need to support our family or home is there. it's not something that it's like, oh I'm fulfilling my life's purpose. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's great. I have a job. I love
Yeah.
it. Don't get me wrong.
comfort.
Love dentistry. It's comfort. It brings security. But it's not something that I go home, okay, I did something wonderful today.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's there. So what's interesting that I hear about is a lot of these millennials or these younger people, well, I just want a job where I feel like I'm doing something. You know, I want to feel like I have a purpose, or they're unhappy with this job because they want their job to be their purpose. And it's like, no. Get a job, support yourself, get a good job, make sure your shit's taken care of.
Yeah.
Take that money, support your
interest, your hobby,
interest,
or
things
whatever.
that are going to make you happy. So that's where my day job comes in. Love my day job. Absolutely grateful for it. Like I said, it's still open. I'm super grateful because when I do go back, I have a job. And then I do photography on the side, which I totally love. So I can't have any more kids. I had really difficult pregnancies. So I have 2 boys, and then I have 3 nephews. So we have all boys in our family. I love little girls. I really wanted, a little girl. But we couldn't, well, I shouldn't say we couldn't. We didn't want to have more kids because of the struggles. So then I got into newborn photography. That way I get my baby fix without having to have another one. And so that's
Send
how
them home.
Yeah.
Yep, enjoy them, create beautiful images,
Yep.
enjoy them while they're there, send them home. And what I found with my business is I didn't just photograph babies at the baby stage. They would come back. So these families are growing with
yeah.
me. So these little girls are, or these babies, all kinds of babies. Well, your kids, Oh my
Yes.
God, I love your kids. When Wyatt was born, I was like, oh my God, that is a beautiful baby. And so I was like, can I photograph your baby? And that's how I got Wyatt. Oh my gosh. If you
Yes.
guys have never seen Desiree's little boy, he is so beautiful. The most beautiful blue eyes.
Yes.
Oh, he's so gorgeous.
I just dive into those. They're so cute.
Not easy to photograph though. I think the times that we did try, I made him cry.
He's a turd. He's one of those kids that you talked about earlier, a-holes. Super cute.
Super
but,
cute. But he and I felt bad because you came like twice for a kid's
Yeah.
crash, right? And he cried, and I felt so horrible. But he's so damn cute even when he's crying.
Hey, even with him crying, you got beautiful photos. So
Yeah,
talent.
and he's
Talent.
gotten easier as he's gotten older. The last time I saw them, I was so grateful I didn't make him cry.
Like he didn't cry this time. Oh.
Yeah. So he gets easier, as he gets older, or maybe he's just getting used to me.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
that
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Used to
definitely.
me.
Because
And
you've taken
then-
his photos quite a few times.
So he's gotten used to seeing this crazy woman with the camera. Because, you don't want to make the kids cry. You feel bad. And then not only do I feel bad for making the kid cry, but I feel bad for the parents because I just ruined, this experience for them. I don't want them to have that experience.
Of course. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, so when I'm working with these families, I work with them with the glasses on that, this is what I would do for my own child. So when I'm working, that's what I'm aiming for. This is what I would do with my own kids.
So when it comes to your photography business, because I like photography and I like pictures and all that stuff, being a photographer, people don't believe in actual cameras anymore. They only use their phones. It's like, why do I need a camera? I got my phone. How do you feel about that, being a photographer?
So there's different groups of people. Okay. You're going to have people who, well, I'm not going to pay you to do that. I could do that myself. Oh, okay. By all means, do it by yourself. And then you're going to have people who appreciate good quality photo. And those are the people that will come. And then you're going to have people that are like, oh, that's too much work. I just want to go and have someone do it for me because I know they're going to get it. So just like me with the books.
That's me. That's me.
Right? So there's going to be, just like me with the books, yes, I can buy an ebook, but I prefer a traditional book. So you're going to have people like that. And then I'm not a shoot and burn photographer. I started out as a shoot and burn where you shoot for super cheap. You're out there, you're giving people a ton of photos for super cheap. I don't do that. You cannot sustain a business if you're going to do that. So I learned quickly, if I'm going to do this and I actually want to make it profitable, I need to not I need to not do that. So then I started looking into business, and then I started studying business. Didn't go to school, just read books, looked online, just kind of did my own research. And then what changed my business is I treated my business like a business. So it's not a photographer. It's
Not
not
like a
about
hobby or
photography.
anything.
It's not a hobby. It's a business. So license, I am registered as a business owner. I pay my taxes, everything like that. So I think that's where people get stuck, is we get stuck in this idea like, well, everyone has a camera. People can take their, why would people pay me? Right? So a lot of that I think has to do, well, just anything, our self-value. We don't value ourselves enough. So anyone who's trying to, have like an entrepreneurial mindset, that have something they want to get off the ground, the number one thing you need to work on is your self-confidence, and then treat your business like a business. People are like, well, I didn't go get a business degree. How can I open up a business? Well, Amazon started in a garage.
Definitely.
Apple started in a garage. I read up on people like that. I studied people at Starbucks. Starbucks failed.
You're
like,
saying my
ridiculous.
turn-on word.
Oh, I love Starbucks. But
I know.
think about it. Who can walk into, what business can you say people will pay $6 for a goddamn cup of coffee? A $6 cup of coffee. Who can do that?
Yeah, that's like half syrup.
I'll pay.
Right? And if you think about it, their coffee, it's not like their coffee's super spectacular, right? Those small mom and pop shops have great coffees too. They're
They
better
actually
than
do.
Starbucks.
I actually love those mom and pop places.
But see, look at how many people go to Starbucks, and it's just because they treat their business like a business. They're not focusing on the product and who's going to pay. So that's how I kind of treat my business. So when people say, "Oh, it's just a hobby," that's fine. That's okay. If you don't want to pay my prices, that's absolutely fine. There's a lot of other people out there you can choose. Here is my work. Here's my website. Here's my work. If you want to work with me, great. You know where to find me. Check my reviews. You can see I'm legit, because that's another thing that people are not used to, is a business being a business. They think, oh, I'm just a mom photographer with a camera, not realizing, no, this is a business. And so I just show them that, hey, I'm legit. You can go to JCPenney's, pay $20 or whatever it is, and hope that you get a good photo. I don't know. But the things that I do, it's kind of like, I kind of put myself in a niche. How many people can say they can take their dog into JCPenney's and they'll get a photo with their dogs? How many people can say, let me just hire somebody for $60 to come do a newborn photo. My biggest thing with the newborn is safety. You really don't want to put your brand new baby in the hands of just anyone, because they're going to drop your baby. They're going to drop your baby. So that's where, that's the business mindset, right? So that's where I looked at, okay, if I'm gonna be a professional newborn photographer, I need to go get educated. Have a lot of newborn experience, because the babies were in the NICU, so I'm really good at reading babies. So the baby situation was not difficult for me. So if they cry, I know what to do. If they're fussy, I kind of know what to do. You read the baby language. But what I didn't know is how to pose the baby. How do I get those cute positions safely? So then I went and paid for education. You cannot do that if you're doing it as just a hobby, because you can't afford it, right? As a hobby, you're just doing what you can when you can. And so that's where the business mindset, okay, I need to do it at this price, because part of this money is going to go to that. So I started allocating things, just like I do with block scheduling. My business is broken up in different financial brackets. And that's where I put a lot of it. There's a portion for business, like, paying for overhead costs, insurance, my website, all that. And then I have a small little bracket set aside for education, because you should always educate yourself. You should always go and learn. And then I have a fee set aside for my props, the things that I use to work with the baby. And then a very, very small portion goes back to spending, like free money. So it's not like, I'm making all this money and it's all going into the pocket. It's not vacation money. It's all going, you have to be
back
smart.
into your business.
You have to be smart about it. Business wise, you don't have to go to college and take classes and learn business. You just have to have that mindset. I need to treat this like a business. Go read some books. There are some amazing books. And then just go follow your favorite entrepreneurs. When people tell me, oh, it's just a hobby, you're not going to make it. That's the number one thing I say is, well, Amazon started in a garage. The guy started his business in a garage selling books. And then it went crazy, and now he's dominating the market. You can't compete with Amazon.
You really
Isn't
can't.
that crazy? You cannot compete with Amazon.
Well, the one thing I like about your photography business, because I've used you multiple times, so Hashtag verified. I love the personability of it. Like, 'cause I feel like you're invested in me getting a good photo of my family. Like, you care as much about getting a good photo of my family as I care about getting a good photo of my family. And then I have a daughter with special needs. So, like, she's not the easiest person to get to cooperate. And, like, you take that extra effort to try to get a good photo of her.
Right.
Because you know how much harder it is for me to get that, you know? So, like, that's my personal experience with you. And I know that, like, other people that use you probably have that same vibe and everything. But that's something to me that, like, you can't just get, like, if you go to a JCPenney or you go take this yourself, you can't get that kind of treatment in different scenarios. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you want that kind of treatment, you're going to have to pay for it.
Yes.
And you should respect the person's time, you know? And so that's why I keep coming back, you know? But I respect your business totally.
And then, you know, when I'm working with my clients, I don't treat them as one and done. You know, I'm not going to take this photo and then I'm done. I stay in contact with my families. I invite them back, you know, for the full experience, because I enjoy watching the kids grow up. So that's like fun for me. It's just as fun for me as it is for the kids. And the nice thing about is I actually watch them grow up, which is really nice. I've known Wyatt since he was 3 months, right? I've watched that little kid grow up. And he's evolved so much. Before, you know, when Anderson was in the same daycare, you know, it was always fun seeing him every morning, or whenever I would see them when I would do drop-offs. I don't get to see them as much anymore because the kids aren't in daycare together. But when I do get to see them, I enjoy them, you know. And then Ellie, she's so fun with me, you know. She's all over the place. I've never made her cry. But I know when she comes over, she's going to be everywhere. And then because I know that, I have stuff for her. You know, I know she's going to want to do this. I know she's going to do that. So that was my, you know, my thing with business. You know, treat it like a business. You have to take care of your people, you know, as a personal business owner, whether I had employees or not. And I learned that from my own job, my own day job. You know, my office, they take great care of their people. You have to take good care of your people and your clients or whoever you're working with if you want them to come back. Yeah. If you're going to be a hobby photographer and not take it seriously and you just want to make that $60 and then that's it, you're not going to be able to sustain. Starbucks would not be able to charge $6 today had they not focused on their customer service. Remember that time when they closed down for a little bit? Do you guys remember that?
When?
Starbucks
was closed.
Yeah. Oh, they shut down. It was after that incident. And so they shut down all their stores for like a day or two, and they put all their employees through customer service training. You guys don't remember that?
Oh, I do.
No. Oh, you do?
It was a big deal, and they shut it down. And that's how much they value their customer service, because they knew if they wanted to sustain, they had to take care of their customers. And you have to do damage control. You're going to lose a lot of money closing down for 2 days, but if you don't take care of that, you're going to be tanked at the end. So they shut down and they invested, and so that's what I've done is I've invested, you know, into my business, take care of my people. If people are unhappy with me for whatever reason, I try to communicate with them. Oh, what happened? What can I do better? If I can make it up to them, I will. You know, I will reshoot for free. If you're absolutely unhappy, I will refund you 100%. I will not give you grief. Yeah, you know, because I've budgeted my business. Customers are important to you. So I've budgeted my business to where if I have to refund, it's not gonna break me. Yeah. So, you know, it's like, again, and that's because I don't spend the money. I don't spend it just to spend it. It's not hobby money. It's a business. So if I need to refund, it's there. It's sitting there. I've invested in it. I've never had to refund. Thank God, knock on wood. I did have to reshoot, and that's just things that, you know, you lose money on reshooting, but you just have to. You have to take care of people.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to tell our listeners where they can find you?
You guys can find me at www.tinytoesandpaws.com. And then you can search me up on Facebook. You can find me on Google, Instagram. I recently got myself on Google, so now you can actually find me on Google. I want to start this new project this year. So as dog lovers, right? Are you a dog lover too, Justine?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So
I'm an animal lover.
We know pit bulls are not dangerous, right? We know that.
I have one. That's what Molly is.
You have one. My brother has a really big pit bull. He's ginormous. We call him.
He
the
looks
family
really
giant.
similar to my dog. I was so surprised how similar they looked. They could be siblings for all I knew.
I know. When she posted a picture, I said, "Oh my God, I thought that was my dog for a second, or my brother's dog for a second there." Pit bulls are the sweetest dogs. dogs ever, but they have this really bad reputation, right? They have this extremely horrible reputation. So people have seen me post pictures of my brother's dog, and he's, you always see him with the kids. He's very sweet, and people are like, oh, he looks really good with the kids. Aren't they really mean? Or they'll say, oh, aren't pit bulls like really bad for the family? And I'm like, no, they're actually the nanny dogs of the dog community. They're very sweet with the kids.
I know. I think I read that was like one of their like nicknames for the breed was the nanny dog.
They're the nanny dogs.
I mean, I've had mine for 9 years and
never had a problem.
No, she's been fine.
And then they're super sweet, right? Like my brother's dog, when the kids were little, he's ginormous, right? He's almost like 100 pounds. He's like 80, 90 pounds. So when he's playing with the kids when they were younger, he was not rough with them at all. He knew not to be rough with them. When I play rope with him, he's really aggressive with me because I'm an adult. But with the kids, he would just hold the rope. He wouldn't even tug it at all.
Yeah, because he probably knew their strength. Like, they're not going to be able to tug like an adult could.
They're very smart. They're very sweet. And so I was just very disappointed in the misconception of pit bulls. Like, it just broke my heart because they're such wonderful breeds. So I wanted to start a new passion project where I, as soon as all this lifts up, I want to find pit bulls and photograph them in cute little bonnets. Little floral bonnets, maybe put on a hat, like what I do with the kids, but do that with the dogs. So that's kind of something I want to do there.
I like that.
So cute.
Your dog is on my list.
Well, hey. She's gorgeous. She's photogenic. Funny story. She was actually in my engagement photos.
She was.
Because I'm one of those people where like before my kids, these were my kids.
Yes.
So when I got married, I was like, my dogs have to be part of that. So I did engagement photos and Molly was right in there. So it was my little gizmo and like she's super photogenic. You can have her as a dog model, but no, I totally love the idea of photographing dogs with families and stuff because essentially they are a member of the family. And I think it's important because especially now, like with my older dog who had passed, having all these photos with him in it has been so like amazing to know. Like I can look at these pictures and know that they were part of my life and part of those moments. So I think it's awesome that you want to capture that like for other people.
Because for pet lovers like us, they really are our babies. Right? So when
got me ready for real babies.
Right? I think I think they're great for kids. I think they're absolutely wonderful for kids.
Yeah.
So when I had my youngest son, we lost our little dog at that time. She was 12, and then she had passed away shortly after he was born. I was so devastated. It broke my heart, and it was a very difficult time. And Desiree, I know you know what I'm talking about when you lose your babies.
Justine actually experienced that too. She had her longtime pet Precious who passed away
right after I had my daughter.
Oh, see, so you understand. Same situation.
Oh no, we're committed pet owners. Lifers.
It's hard, right? And then I've always thought, if I didn't have the baby at that time when I lost the dog, I think I would have completely lost it. I think the baby is what kind of kept me sane because I had to be for the kids. But it's so devastating, and people don't understand that as pet lovers and pet owners, those really are our babies. So when you make an asshole comment to me, oh, that's just a dog. Fuck you. Well, I don't really think that, but I just think, they just don't understand.
I agree 100% because because Gizmo passed back in December, when that happened, I did not expect to break the way I broke. Like to me, it felt like one of my children dying. Like the uncontrollable pain that I felt. There was no way I could have prepared myself for the pain. Like I knew he was old and I knew that it was going to happen. But when it happened, there was nothing that could have prepared me for that pain. So when it happened, it hurt more than I had ever anticipated that it would.
So I haven't watched just like a dog movie since.
Right? Yeah, no.
So like 7 years, I have not watched like a sad dog movie.
I am with you.
It's going to bring all those memories back.
Oh, I'm with you. What's that movie? What's that recent movie a couple years ago?
The Dog's Purpose one?
Oh my God.
No.
I watched that when I was pregnant with my daughter.
Nope.
I think I cried like 10 times
Nope.
through the whole movie, just like
thank you.
sobbed.
We were sitting there watching, right? It was a family night, movie night. We were sitting there watching, and then I was sitting here bawling and crying, and my husband looks over like, what the fuck?
What is she doing?
Don't judge me. And then, you know what the cutest thing was? My oldest son, because he was old enough to remember her, right? Because he was like 3 or 4 when she passed. He was crying with me, so we're over here crying together. And then he's over here like this, and he had tears of like sadness because he remembers, and I kind of had like tears of joy. Well, not joy, but you know, I can
The fond
understand.
memories,
Yeah, the fond
maybe.
memories. So it was interesting to see that, and then the baby at that time was just like,
What'd you do, Mom?
because he was confused. He was like, should I cry too? You know, like he was just like, okay. But it's pets are wonderful. I think every family should get a pet, only if the parents are willing to take care of them, though.
Yeah, no, because it's definitely a
Oh,
commitment.
yeah.
Definitely.
Don't get it for
But
the
you
kids.
seem to photograph a lot of families that include their dogs as well, right?
That's kind
Because
of my
it's kind
goal.
of like with your name, the
Tiny toes and paws.
Yes,
Yep, that's where it came from. And that's where
both.
that's where the business came from, was with babies, because I love babies and dogs. And so that's really where I want to focus, because a lot of people don't include their family pets in photos. They just don't think about it. And so the ones that find me are the ones that are like you guys, that are huge animal lovers. They want somebody that will incorporate their dogs. The funny thing about photographing families with dogs is the dogs are actually pretty easy. You know, even though your dog is
kids.
wild, it's mostly the kids. It's mostly the kids. So when you're working, you know, if a lot of families, they don't have dogs that behave well, so they're afraid. That's why they don't include their pets.
Yeah.
They're thinking, oh, you know, they're just going to ruin the photos. But the dogs are actually pretty easy once you get them some basic commands. And then my trick with the kids and the dogs is lollipops and cheese, string cheese. So I just take string cheese, cut it up with the dogs. I don't even use dog treats because they get dog treats all the time. It's
Yeah.
nothing
It's
special.
just like, oh, and cheese.
Just give them cheese. So when I see your dog, Desiree, I'm going to throw cheese at her. Do you still have a dog, Justine?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh
we
my
have a
gosh.
boxer.
You got to bring him over.
Yeah.
What color boxer? Is it the white, or do you have the...
She's like the brindle. Yeah.
Oh, I love boxers.
She's really good, very smart,
Uh-huh.
great with the kids. Me and her, sometimes we got beef.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like if she was a woman, we would fight.
It's because you're both in love with the same
Yeah, I
man.
think that's what
Oh,
it
that's
is.
hilarious.
You're territorial.
what
You
it
can't
is.
both love him.
But yes, she's a great dog. I actually want to find her a friend.
Oh, cute, cute, cute. What are you guys looking for? Are you guys looking to
No,
become
I want to
another
get a smaller than a boxer,
Uh-huh.
but not like a Chihuahua,
Oh, like a little bit bigger?
but like
Like a medium breed?
medium-sized dog. I
Like
really,
a corgi.
I don't
Oh,
know.
those are
why.
cute.
I just met a corgi the other day. Oh my god,
Oh,
it's
they're
so
so
cute.
cute. And they're
Yeah.
cute little butts when they move.
I know,
And it was
right?
the sweetest dog ever. But I am in the market. I am wanting all kinds of animals right now. It's all bad for my husband. All kinds of animals.
So if anybody who has puppies, Justine is looking.
Well, and then I looked at I've always looked at the shelters.
Yeah.
But then it's hard to find an animal, whether it be a dog or a cat, that is good with both dogs and
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
It's always one or the other. So I haven't been able to find one that's good with both
Yeah.
yet. But and right now all the shelters are closed and stuff. But
Yeah, it's not really the time
Oh,
to. Yeah.
what are
it's
they
not. But it's the
doing?
perfect time for me because I'm home more.
Yeah.
So I'm
you
like,
can
oh, I could
train.
so I can train and like.
I wonder what
love
they're
up
doing
on
with the
it.
dogs at the shelter.
I don't know.
I think they're fostering some of them.
I've heard that there's been some fostering.
Yeah, but I don't know
the other
exactly.
ones that are there. I wonder.
Oh, because there's so many. There's
Yeah.
so many.
I heard that some people were actually dropping them off because they're scared that the animals are gonna get corona.
Oh, that is so stupid. Oh, my
What?
gosh.
I seen that. Yeah, I seen that on the.
what? Oh
Yeah,
my-
and they were actually asking people to please not drop your
can't.
dogs off because
It's people
they're
are so
not
stupid.
getting the
People are
virus
so
from. Yeah.
stupid.
Cindy,
Yeah.
you're the best. You say what I'm thinking. Oh, but you didn't even touch on your blog at all. I know I've read a
Oh,
couple of your
yes.
blog posts, and I've always really enjoyed them. So how did you get kind of in making your own blogs?
So, you know how we were talking about me times? Like, with moms, like, what are we doing for our me time? That's my me time. That's where
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sitting on the computer. And, you know, when I'm at the computer, I'm not always working. I'm probably working on my blog. And, you know, I've always journaled. I've always had a diary. So that's like my new way of writing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I did that. So I have two different blogs. I have one for moms where I talk about completely random stuff. And then I have one for photographers where I offer advice for other photographers. On the blog today, I had I was actually going to talk about homeschooling and block scheduling for the moms that are struggling, because I think that was a huge lifesaver for me, is being able to balance my schedule with that. And then what else was I going to talk about? Recipes. I talk about completely random, easy recipes. So I hate cooking.
Me too.
I
Me
hate
too.
cooking.
I hate it.
So when I find a recipe that's easy and it's quick and it's actually good, the kids will actually eat it, I will share it.
So it seems like you kind of like write all kinds of things in your blog.
So random.
I mean, like in a way, this podcast is kind of like a verbal
Yes.
blog, like because it's kind of an outlet to talk about whatever's going on in your life, this and that.
Totally.
Like, so I mean, in a way, this is kind of like our me time.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
With wine.
Because if you think about it, who actually sits down and read anymore? Everybody listens to the podcast, right? Everybody does podcasts.
I wish I had time to read. I don't.
Me too. There's so many
And you
books I want.
can. And then, you know, it's hard now too, even when you're reading, like right now. So I love to read, but I'm afraid to buy books. You know, I don't want to buy books. So everything's digital. I've been buying ebooks, but I don't like ebooks.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's
Like
weird.
the paper, like the.
Yeah, I like the touch and the texture. I'm not afraid of germs and diseases of corona. I'm just more texture, you know, just a little old school, I guess. So it's weird for me to hold a tablet to my face and swipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like that's really weird for me. So I like to listen to podcasts. I like to listen to audiobooks.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Things like that.
definitely audiobooks.
See? I
yes.
do like
There
there
you
you
go.
go.
Audible should sponsor us.
Why don't you send it over? Let me send something over to them. So that's
Oh,
why
is
I
that a
blog.
thing?
Yeah, so that's how I got into blogging. That's my me time because I don't really have time to do anything else. Too lazy to go running. I should go running. They're on a pair of jeans. I'm like, oh shit.
You're like, I need to run. So, Cindy, do you want to do a bold question?
Sure.
What is your idea of the perfect day?
Ooh, probably like a beach day where it's like I have all my family and everyone's being good. So it's like
Everybody's nice.
my kids are on their best behavior, and I brought lunch and of course probably canned wine. Bring out my inner ghetto. And then I'm on the beach and we're just there until the sunset, and then we go home. And then in my scenario of a perfect day, the drive's only like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like in
Yeah.
my hypothetical scenario, that would be like just the perfect day. What about you guys?
Well, I love the beach, so it would probably be at the beach. And yes, everybody would be on their best behavior. The weather would be perfect. We would barbecue out there and do all the stuff you just said. And then we'd come home and everybody would still be in such a good mood because I don't know what it is when you go out of town and you come home. Everybody's assholes when you walk in the door.
Right? What is that?
So
We just had a
everybody's
great
still
time.
good.
Why are you being a
Yep.
jerk?
Everybody's still good when we go home. And yeah.
I like that.
What's your favorite beaches? Like around here?
Well, the one I probably go to the most is Dylan's.
Yeah, I you know, a lot of people don't like Dylan's. I actually enjoy Dylan's.
I do too. It has so many like childhood memories that like when I go
Oh,
there,
it's so
I
big.
I enjoy going there. Like I don't know what other people's are because I like, you know, you're a creature of habit. You kind of like go to the beach, you know,
And it brings back
everything.
fond memories because you went there as a
Yeah,
kid.
so that's probably my favorite. Do you have one?
I don't have one, but we did beach camping last year, and it was an experience. It was definitely it was different. Beach camping, it's very messy. You know,
sandy, windy.
like everywhere.
sandy and windy. It was definitely fun. What I didn't like about that type of camping is because you had people back to back. You're literally right next door to each other. So that was kind of awkward. You couldn't really do much because your neighbor was right there. And then what I really didn't like about beach camping is it's like lights out at 9 or 10. So you couldn't stay up and be noisy.
You
could
should go to
still hang
Dylan's.
out.
Yeah, Dylan's, they're up late.
I was like,
They know how to
should-
party.
I should camp at Dylan's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should totally camp at Dylan's. And then I was just gonna say I love camping. That would be my trip.
Well, that's all for today's episode of Sippin and Dishin. Thank you, Cindy, for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please go rate, review, or subscribe. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.
Bye, guys.